What happens when America's sweetheart suddenly finds herself in an interview that completely spirals out of control? Today, we're revisiting the unforgettable moment when Kelly Clarkson stormed off the Today with Jenna and friends, set after a heated exchange that caught everyone by surprise. If you're into behind-the-scenes drama and celebrity stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment about what you think really pushed Kelly over the edge. The day started just like any other media stop on a promotional tour. Kelly Clarkson showed up at the NBC studios in her usual style, glowing with the same approachable charm that's made her so loved ever since she first won American Idol. She was there to talk about her latest album, share some details about her upcoming tour, and maybe throw in a few lighthearted stories for the audience at home. The plan was a quick, easy 15-minute segment that her team had arranged weeks in advance. Jenna Bush Hager greeted her with warmth, complimenting Kelly's outfit and asking about her kids. Everything seemed perfectly routine as the two slipped into the easy back and forth of morning TV. Kelly laughed, joked, shared a funny story about her daughter's fascination with makeup, and even teased some exclusive tidbits about her music. "Kelly, your fans are loving the new single," Jenna said, leaning forward with practiced excitement. "But I want to ask you about something that's been buzzing online. There are rumors about behind-the-scenes tension at your talk show. What do you say about that?" Kelly's smile flickered for the briefest second, but she quickly put it back on. "Every workplace has challenges," she said smoothly. "But I'm really grateful for my team and for everything we've built together." "Sure," Jenna continued. "But specifically, there have been reports that your management style is, well, demanding. A few former staff even described the environment as toxic. The energy in the studio shifted." Kelly kept her calm expression, but there was a definite sharpness in her eyes. "That feels like a harsh description, Jenna. I set high standards because I care about giving the audience quality content." "Of course. And nobody questions your dedication," Jenna said carefully, though she pressed on. "But when multiple people say the same things, doesn't that concern you? There are stories about crying in bathrooms, about people fired over little mistakes, even complaints about impossible workloads." Kelly tightened her hands together in her lap. "I think we should keep the focus on my music. That's what I'm here for." "Absolutely," Jenna replied. "But you've always been admired for being open with your fans. People love that honesty. So when these kinds of allegations come up, they want to hear directly from you." "My side of it." Kelly's tone sharpened. "Jenna, I've always been professional and supportive of my team. I don't know where these stories are coming from, but they're not true." Jenna glanced down at her notes, not ready to move on. "One incident that came up was you yelling at a production assistant about a coffee order. They said you even made them redo your dressing room because you weren't happy." "That's completely false," Kelly said firmly, her voice rising just a touch. "I have never screamed at anyone on my team about coffee or anything else. That claim is fabricated." "So you're saying all of these reports are just lies?" Kelly inhaled, keeping her voice steady. "I'm saying people sometimes remember events differently after they leave a job, but I stand by my treatment of my staff and my own character." The atmosphere was thick now. Even the crew seemed tense. Jenna's co-hosts exchanged uneasy looks, trying to figure out if they should step in. "Kelly, I have to push back," Jenna said. "We're hearing repeated accounts of the same behavior." "At what point do you acknowledge that something in the culture of your show might be off?" "Acknowledge what?" Kelly shot back, her voice sharper now. "That I expect people to do their best? That I want to deliver great work? I'm not apologizing for caring about quality." "No, acknowledge that people felt fearful or pressured," Jenna countered. "That's absurd," Kelly said bluntly. "You're throwing out accusations from anonymous sources and asking me to defend myself against things that didn't happen." The studio was silent except for the cameras humming. Kelly's eyes locked on Jenna, who suddenly seemed uncertain about how far to keep pushing. "You know what, Jenna?" Kelly finally said with a laugh that carried no humor. "I came here to talk about music and connect with fans. I didn't come here to be ambushed with gossip." "This isn't an ambush," Jenna argued. "It's journalism. When public figures face allegations, we have to ask the difficult questions." "Journalism?" Kelly repeated, almost incredulous. "Because this feels more like a setup. Did someone from my former management feed this to you?" Is this some kind of coordinated takedown? Kelly, no one reached out to us, Jenna insisted. These stories are already out there. We're just giving you the opportunity to respond. An opportunity? No, this is a trap, Kelly fired back. My team was told this was about my album and tour. Instead, you blindsided me with an attack on my character. One co-host tried to step in. Maybe we can pivot back to your music. Fans are excited about where this new album is heading, but Kelly was locked in. No, I'm not moving on yet. If Jenna here wants to call this journalism, let's talk about ethics. Did you give me or my team a chance to prepare a response? Did you verify any of these anonymous claims with actual evidence? We're letting you answer right now, Jenna replied, but her confidence was slipping. That's not how responsible journalism works, Kelly said. You don't spring damaging allegations on live television without giving someone notice. You don't lean on anonymous gossip for a headline. Kelly leaned forward, her voice steady but cutting. How many of these so-called sources did you even speak to? Did anyone put their name behind their words? Or are you just repeating what you found online? Jenna looked flustered, her earlier boldness fading fast. And what rules were followed here? Kelly continued. Because from where I sit, it looks like the only goal was to make me look like some monster in front of millions. Kelly, nobody here wants to make you look bad, another co-host said softly. Really? Kelly challenged. Because that's exactly how it feels. I've been doing this for 2 decades. I can tell the difference between a fair interview and a hit job. It's not a hit job, Jenna insisted, but her voice was weaker now. Then what is it? Kelly snapped. I came here in good faith, and now I'm being painted as a terrible boss. Do you realize how damaging that is? To my career, my show, and my family? Her voice cracked slightly when she said family, showing a glimpse of vulnerability beneath the anger, but she quickly gathered herself again. My kids will see this, Kelly said firmly. My friends, my staff, people who actually know me, they'll all see this. And they'll wonder why I didn't stand up for myself. So here it is. These claims are false, and this entire stunt is wrong. We're not trying to hurt you, the co-host said gently. But you are hurting me, Kelly said firmly. And you're doing it because controversy boosts ratings. Jenna jumped in again. That's not fair. These are valid questions. Valid? Kelly suddenly stood up, startling the room. Here's a valid question for you, Jenna. Have you ever managed a team of creative professionals? Have you ever run a show where hundreds of people depend on you? No? Then don't tell me how to do my job. That doesn't excuse bad behavior, Jenna said quickly. This isn't about excuses, Kelly replied. It's about context. You don't understand the pressure, the scrutiny, the constant expectations. And now you've added to that by ambushing me on live TV. Kelly began pacing, her voice echoing in the quiet studio. You want to talk about toxic behavior? Look around. This right here, springing rumors on someone and dressing it up as journalism, that's toxic. The silence was overwhelming. I actually respected you, Jenna, Kelly said, her voice lower but sharper. I thought you were better than this. I thought you had integrity. I do, Jenna said, though her tone lacked conviction. No. Integrity would have meant calling me yesterday and being honest about what you wanted to discuss. Instead, you chose to blindside me. Another co-host tried, maybe we can pause, take a short break and start over. Kelly turned to him with disbelief. Start over? You think I can just sit back down, smile, and talk about my tour dates after this? Absolutely not. This could be a chance to set the record straight, Jenna said softly. My side of the story? Kelly's voice rose again. I've been telling you my side for 10 minutes. But you're not listening. You've already made up your mind. You're not here for my truth. You're waiting for a confession. Kelly stared Jenna down, waiting for her to respond. When nothing came, she shook her head slowly. This is the problem with the media, Kelly continued. You forget these are real people you're talking about. You forget that words affect reputations, families, and lives. You chase drama and call it journalism. Kelly, that's not what we meant, Jenna said softly. But that's what you did, Kelly replied coldly. You made a choice and you chose sensationalism. Kelly picked up her purse, moving slowly as every pair of eyes in the studio followed her. I want to be clear, she said, turning directly toward the cameras. To everyone who has worked with me or will work with me, I have never created an unsafe environment. Yes, I expect high standards, but I have never mistreated my team. And to my fans, this angry version of me isn't who I am. This is what happens when someone is ambushed on live television. Kelly, we're giving you a chance right now, Jenna started. No, you're not, Kelly cut her off. You're giving me a chance to apologize for things I didn't do, just to fit your narrative. That's not the same thing. She adjusted her purse strap and took a steady breath. I've used my career to lift others up, to share my struggles so people wouldn't feel alone. And now? I'm standing here being torn down by gossip disguised as questions. Please don't walk out like this, a co-host pleaded. Kelly paused, but then shook her head. You know what would actually be positive? If journalists remembered their responsibility, if hosts treated their guests like people, not just as content to stir controversy. She began walking toward the edge of the set, her heels echoing against the floor. Then she stopped, turned back one last time, and fixed her gaze on Jenna. And Jenna, Kelly said firmly, next time you try to corner someone with allegations, make sure you've got facts, not rumors. Because this isn't journalism. It's cruelty under bright lights. With that, Kelly Clarkson walked off the set, leaving behind stunned silence, a shaken Jenna, and a moment that would be replayed over and over in the days that followed. The interview that was supposed to highlight Kelly's album ended, up as a lesson in how quickly things can unravel when tough. Questions blur into sensationalism, and when even America's sweetheart reaches her breaking point. So, what do you think actually pushed Kelly to that point? Was it Jenna's persistent style, the lack of fairness in how the questions were asked, or something bigger about how celebrity culture treats powerful women? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more dramatic celebrity stories and behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.